We have to have this mindset that we are willing to go and give more than the ordinary soldier.
To become one of these warriors, the best of the best must undergo one of the world's toughest training courses.
It's even worse than I imagined.
Many try, but few succeed. Those who dare will be trained and tested in the push to receive the coveted badge in this elite band of brothers.
Request permission to enter the mess, sir!
This is the Marine Basic School, where they turn ordinary civilians into some of the toughest soldiers in the Philippines. For the next 6 months, these volunteers will endure some of the most unforgiving training the country has to offer.
Mostly, based kami sa disiplina dahil lang ang disiplina ay napaka-importante sa isang marino. Dahil may kahirapan ng training, kung hindi ka disiplinado, hindi mo kakayahin ang training.
This discipline is what forms the core of a force recon ethos, crucial in defending a country rich in conflict. The Philippines is an archipelago of over 7,000 islands. In the south, the nation's armed forces must wage war on scores of separatist militia like the Abu Sayyaf, dedicated to establishing independence from the Philippine government. The battleground is dense jungle and remote mountainous terrain, and these challenging conditions demand a special breed of soldier.
What we wanted was a strategic type of unit, which could conduct far-ranging reconnaissance, patrols, and operations. And its personnel could infiltrate by sea, air, and land.
The Force Reconnaissance Battalion is the special operations arm of the Philippine Marines, specialized in long-range reconnaissance patrols, amphibious assaults, and hostage rescue.
We must have this attitude that we must be better than the others because the rest of the Marine Corps expect us to perform way above the performance of others.
And it all starts here, Ternate, Cavite, southern Luzon.
Dalawa, sabay.
Sige, tulak mo. Bilisan mo dyan, basenga. Kung may tagilid mo, hindi ganyan. Yan, go. Ito yung ginagawa mo. Sabi na sabay yung ka ng pa sa kakamay. Ikaw din magsahin. Ayusin mo, ituwid mo yung paa mo.
The intensive training program is designed to be as realistic and hazardous as possible, because as soon as they graduate, they will be sent into combat.
Most of the Marines are really tough because when you land on a beach, there is no place for hesitation. There's no way of going back into the ships. So the only way is forward. So the Marine Corps has developed very tough warriors.
The basic training is tough, but those that pass at the top can try out for the most elite team on offer. The Force Recon Battalion.
Sa training pa lang, nalalaman namin kung meron siyang potential na maging force reconnaissance dahil sa ability.
If they get selected, they'll move on to 3 months of specialized training, where a new level of hell awaits.
A lot is expected of us. Kaya sabi ko sa'yo, we're elite. We're supposed to be elite, not elitist. We have to have this mindset that we are willing to go and give more than the ordinary soldier.
The Force Recon Battalion will fight a highly specialized kind of war, the core of which is represented in their badge. The knife shows that they are warriors. Black and lightning represent their stealth, and the parachute shape shows that they are airborne.
So yung airborne training is a core competency ng special operations na mini-maintain ng Force Recon. Using these skills, may nakaready tayong personnel na capable na mag-operate, magkaroon ng future deployment.
With a country spreading over 300,000 square kilometers, airborne insertion is the quickest way to deliver a team of special ops troops into a conflict zone. If you want to be Force Recon, you have to have the coveted silver wings. And the training to earn them is not for the faint-hearted. Day one, and the recruits are stripped of their ranks. From this day on, everyone will be a number. On equal footing, they all share the same goal, the jump of a lifetime.
I now declare your training starts today.
Airborne training requires a special dedication and courage because airborne training is very challenging physically and mentally.
They begin with the spring up and out roll call. A physical workout designed to help their landings.
Hindi yung mahina yung katawan nila, hindi sila makakalabas sa aircraft, ganun. Kaya lahat ng mga exercises dyan na tinuturo sa kanila is for the purpose ng jump training.
This is just the beginning, and already some of them are feeling the strain. Recruit 23 is the oldest of the batch.
Siyempre, stress talagang pagod ka talaga sa opening.
Ang pinakamahirap is yung ground training or topping phase. Kasi dito nagkakaroon ng adjustment eh. Nag-a-adjust ka psychologically, physically.
In this first phase, close to 25% will be eliminated. Candidate 6 hopes he won't be one of them.
Yung paghihirap dito sa Airborne, wala siyang pahinga. Ang pahinga mo lang everyday, yung kain lang. Tapos every 5 minutes lang may pahinga. After that, wala na.
Count, 10 repetition, 5 to the left and 5 to the right. Are you ready? Sabay-sabay, exercise!
After roll call, the punishing exercises begin.
Yung nakikita natin ngayon dyan na exercise nila is para ma-practice nila yung balls of the feet, para hindi ma-flat-footed yung paa nila at makukurente yung pangangatawan nila.
Much of these exercises are especially designed to form the muscle memory needed for their ultimate mission. Jump from an aircraft, descend at 1,000 feet per minute, and land alive. This year, the Marines have selected more women candidates than ever before. It's a unique opportunity for Mary Joy Almedo.
Sa akin, gusto ko mag-airborne, para to prove to myself na kaya kong makipagsabayan din sa lalaki. Sinasabing hindi namin mapapantayan yung lakas na lalaki, ma'am, pero sa sarili ko, ginagawa ko yung makakaya ko, ma'am, to prove to myself.
Wag mong i-separate talaga, wag mong i-separate yung ilo. Kung naka-clip talaga, i-clip mo talaga siya, wag mong alisin doon sa helmet mo. I-clip mo yung chin. Ganyan.
The first thing these recruits will learn is the last thing that happens. The landing. Getting the body into a flexible position for it to withstand the impact of hitting the ground. Not landing correctly could lead to severe injury or death. This is just a taste of what the next 5 weeks are going to be like. It's a lot of repetitive moves and motions, but this is where their discipline and focus will be put to the test.
And ganun talaga, pag nag-undergo ka ng training, mahirap talaga sa mahirap yun. So, isipin mo na lang sa training na lahat yun may purpose, kaya nyo ginagawa. And design yun talaga para ma-overcome mo lahat ng whatever adversaries na maharap mo sa in the future.
Next, they move on to practicing landing on the move. It's a chance for them to begin to feel the impact of a landing. From here, the recruits move to Fort Magsaysay, where they will find out if they have what it takes to jump from a tower 60 feet high and survive.
I imagined it to be worse. It's even worse than that.
For the toughest missions, the Philippine Marine Corps send in their specialist operators, the Force Reconnaissance Battalion. These men are the best of the best. Hoping to join this elite group are 92 men and women in Stage 1 of their Airborne training course. Over the next 2 weeks, the rigors of the training schedule will become extreme as they prepare to move from ground training to tower jumps. Already, the toughening phase has forced out 2 volunteers.
92 kaming pumasok dito, hindi ko alam kung ma-50% yung makakagraduate dito. Kasi mostly nagba-back out dahil minsan sobrang ding pagod.
But the 7 women trying to make the grade are still hanging on.
Sobrang pagod din, hindi na rin kaya minsan. Kaya matatawag talaga siyang special.
3, 2, 1, stop! Kanya-kanya kasi kayo eh. Teamwork ha, teamwork. Backboard to! Backboard again! Back to barracks, pull out!
This time yung class na to, baka konti yung nag-back out dahil nga mahaba yung preparation, maganda yung preparation nila.
One of the riskiest procedures for an airborne warrior is to safely exit an aircraft. The Force Recon jump as teams with split-second accuracy. Delays on exit could mean landing miles from your target.
Tayo ngayon sa MacDor ha. Itong MacDor, ito yung bali aircraft natin sa lupa. Kasi wala tayong aircraft na pagpraktisan. Dito muna tayo mag-practice. Dito natin ginagamit ito sa exit. Stand in the door. Kumano 5-6 sergeant. Crouch siya. Huwag kayong balon kaagad. Umexit kayo dito. Ulitin ko naman. Takin yung ulo. Clip your elbow. Proper grabbing of reserve. While counting, knees together, feet together, and spring up and out. Kasi pag di ka mag-spring, either mabangga kayo sa side ng aircraft. Go! 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Hop! Ngayon, grab siya ng ganyan, di ba? Ang GM, titingnan ka ganyan yan. Ulit. Baka lahang jumper siya or partial o total. Ha? Yan ang trabaho ng GM. Kaya gagawin nyo yan, MacDor natin dito. Gagawin nyo proper.
This training is for fixed line jumping. A line is attached to the aircraft, which automatically releases the parachute as soon as they jump. But things don't always go to plan.
Thanks na okay! Hold okay! 5, 6, 7, go! Ibig mo ang blow, ha? Yung blow. Yung cloud sa ako na sini natin, no? Bulo na yan, ma'am, eh. Ibig sabihin, wala kang parachute nakikita doon, ma'am. Wala kang parachute. Ibig sabihin, wala total talaga na di bumuka yung parachute mo. Kasi sinasabi yung blow. Kaya pag blow, ibig sabihin, parachute ka agad. 1, 2, wait.
Their next test is to practice the malfunction procedures while being suspended 5 feet off the ground. They have to react to any of 3 possible scenarios. Necessary procedures that could someday save their lives.
Water landing! Helmet disengage!
First up is Candidate 1, one of the senior members of the batch. His performance will set the bar for the others.
Yung mental analysis, yung positive attitude, dapat nandun lagi. Very confident naman po. Okay.
Get together! Look to the horizon. Okay, ready?
No tap, no go! Go! 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000.
The white flag represents looking up and seeing the parachute open.
3 top level!
Treetop level means he needs to release his straps in time for a water landing.
Hello, Owan. Balik na lang.
Yung nahirapan akong magtanggal ng right strap. Saka lumaan na kasi nung gamit. Na ano siya. Hindi na siya madaling i-release kasi pang training lang yung mga gamit.
1, 2, airborne.
Pag nangyari po yung ganun sa totoong buhay, may mangyaring hindi maganda sa'yo kasi madili ka na.
And that delay means he runs the risk of getting dragged underwater by his chute and drowning. But when things go wrong, the Force Recon is always ready. Adapting and surviving in every situation is an essential part of their training, especially in the water. To learn how to deal with potential drowning situations, recruits are bound hand and foot and thrown into the sea.
I love you, Force Recon! Go!
Pag once nandun ka sa ilalim at kinapos ka ng hininga mo, talagang mamamatay ka sa ilalim ng dagat.
The fear of drowning can lead to panic, so the men are first taught to relax.
Forward.
Next, they will have to learn to control their breathing and make their way to shore. % of the Force Recon recruits who take this test are expected to fail. Back at the Special Ops Camp, the Airborne course is in the final stage of their ground training. Next, they need to overcome their toughest challenge yet. When airborne soldiers land in high wind conditions, they risk being dangerously dragged for long distances. They must learn how to get out of potential trouble. To practice, 10 men will drag a recruit along the ground to simulate wind drag. To pass, they need to be able to regain control by standing up.
Ganitong procedure ng pag-recover. Pag hindi, kaya nang makipwel. Kasi matigas na yan, nakakuha na yan ng fully blown na yung parachute. Ha? Ang gagawin dito, pag habang inihila siya, i-pull up. Dalhin dito. Itong isang pa, itapon dito sa side dito. Pagsabayan, tapos isikat. Pag nasikat na siya, pag nakatayo na, maramdaman mo nang itayo ka na niya, sabay bitaw itong tali. Ready, go! Hila. Hila. Go.
They've got just a few meters to force their bodies around. It's female recruit 52's turn. At 5 feet, she is one of the smallest on the course.
Nakakatakot na kasi nakikita ko sa mga unang nag-perform na mahirap talaga. Tapos yung mukha parang hindi na ma-drawing. Talagang mahirap mag-ano, dapat malakas yung lower body mo mag-twist mo para makuha mo yung pag-recover.
Ito, sigan mo to ha. Sigan mo to konti yan. Yan ha. Saka mo ibabit. Body twist ha. Pull up ka muna sa body twist ha. Kita ganyan.
Sige to, sir.
Sige lang.
Bilis mo. Hinay lang. Nahinayan niyo lang kasi magasgas.
Ano, prepare?
Ay, sorry.
Ready? Tapo yung braso mo, Joy. Go! Recover! Hop! Balik! Hop! Hold! Pull up mo. Ano, hila?
Ay, Sergeant.
Sige. Huwag mo munang pulapan. Dali, tingnan mo ko. Yung pulap mo talaga. Hilain mo yan.
52 has one last try to get this right.
Go! Pull up! Tapo yung pa! Go!
Papagod lang mag-pull up kasi sa force ng naghihila sa akin masyadong papersa tapos hindi ko makontrol yung persa nila. Tumatiming pa ako, ma'am.
Now, the rest of the men have to prove they can do it too. With all the ground techniques conquered, it's time to take things higher up. Phase 2 moves to this training tower, a massive 60 feet in the air. They call it the Tower of Hell. The Philippine Force Recon is an elite unit that specializes in land, sea, and airborne special operations. Part of what makes them so effective is their expertise in the close-quarter combat method, Pakiti Tertia Kali. This Filipino martial art arms the users with a complete strategy to destroy the enemy at close range.
Every time na pag nag-strike sa strike hindi. Pag tras mo dito is susot siya dito and then mag-lock. Lock siya. Lock. So yan yung purpose na paano masama disarm. Same time, pwede mo sangkuanan dito. So yun yung lock, blade to blade, hand guard. And then ito naman sa full guard, yung bawang tumaga siya dito sa kamay ko, pag tumaga siya, ibig sabihin ito siya pwede siyang guard. So kaya may full guard siya. At the same time, laglag mo siya dito, kuha siya dito, lock. So kung sa practical, hawakan mo lang yung dito niya, at the same time, taga siya dito. So disarm siya. Same time, taga siya dito.
This ancient system of fighting can be traced back to the 1500s. Its elaborate movements were created so they could practice the art in front of their Spanish colonial rulers without causing suspicion. Looking more like a dance than a martial art. Today, these moves are used against a different adversary.
Naisip ko nito ma'am dahil kasi nung that time remaining year na since of 1990, marami na pupugutan na Marines, ng mga kabrother na kabaro ko. So nag-isip ako kung paano gawin na pang-counter doon sa mga bulo na pinapuputol ng mga kalaban na busayap.
The practice focuses on the proper use of the Philippine bolo, a long, heavy, single-edged machete. Each thrust is meant to kill.
Sa 24 hours na bar fight, hindi ka maubusan ng bala. Usually, pag naubusan kami ng bala, next in line namin na nagdidepend, ang option namin is yung bulo. Dahil ang kalaban, magagaling din sa paghawak ng bulo. Use na rin natin ngayon, ito yung buhay. Pag nilagyan mo siya ng extension na bulo, ito pa yung haba ng buhay mo. So ito yung tinatawag namin na kadugtong ng buhay. Bulo is my life.
Close-quarter combat is a vital part of recon operations, especially in the southern islands of Mindanao, which has been plagued by Islamic insurgency and terrorism for decades. Thousands of well-armed fighters continue a campaign of guerrilla warfare against the state.
Because the current trend is what we foresee in future wars is not wars between countries anymore, but wars between proxies of these countries. And usually these are insurgents or terrorists. And what you need are elite, highly trained soldiers who can conduct surgical operations in whatever place they're deployed.
The Force Recon Battalion was called into action when it was assigned to conflict-ridden Mindanao in 2000. Their mission, to neutralize the forward defenses of Camp Abubakar to clear the way for the rest of the Marine battalions to move in. Master Sergeant Luis Marmol was part of that operation.
So, ang mission namin doon, makuha namin yung detachment sa harapan. Kasi yun yung paanan going to Abubakar. So, dapat makuha yung isang detachment doon bago po-forward ka sa taas. Then, ang position, galing kami from down, going to up. So, nasa up sila. So, kahit outnumber nga kami, so tinugunan lang namin yung mission na binigay sa amin.
Using classified tactical maneuvers, they reached their objective. But 3 of his comrades died in battle. For the 90 men and women hoping to join the prestigious ranks of the Force Recon, they're now entering Phase 2 of their Airborne course. Here, they must face the dreaded Tower of Hell, where they will be tested on exiting and malfunction drills, while speeding down a zip line over 100 meters.
Baba lang yan. Bigyan nyo na lahat yung ano nyo dyan. Karapat-dapat para ma-check out kayo.
It's the first time they will find out if they really have what it takes to be airborne. One small step into thin air takes a huge amount of courage. If vertigo kicks in, they will fail the course.
Instruction doon sa taas, yung riser na sa likod dyan, huwag kayong papayag na yung riser na sa harapan nyo. Dahil pagtalon nyo, tatama yan sa mukha nyo.
The feeling, halos lahat kami na-excite actually. Kasi ito yung masasabi naming last phase ng training namin before the final jump.
Spring up, ha? Out. And count 1 to 4. Ha? Grab your reserve. Tuck in your head. Feet together. Check your malfunction.
Bukas mo sabi sa dyan! Yan. Go!
The instructors are looking for 100% confidence when exiting the aircraft, because hesitation could lead to an uncontrollable spin and possible death. This is the moment of truth for Candidate 1.
Normal lang naman yung kaba, pero dapat huwag isipin para makapag-perform na maayos. One, sir. Stand on the door.
Ano lawan sa dyan? Stand by! Go! 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, up!
Marami siyang efficiency. Pushing sa tower, delay ang tuck-in of head, pass counting, pag-jump niya, yung reserve niya, mali ang pag-grabs.
Most common sa first day kasi nakikita natin yung weak exit at saka yung grabbing of reserve. So hindi nila masyadong nape-perform yun kasi kinakabahan sila. Gagawin natin itong 1 week para paulit-ulitin natin sila para ma-perfect nila yung jump. Para pagdating ng jump week, okay nila.
Alongside proper techniques, the instructors have come up with their own special remedy to help spur on the nervous recruits.
Ito, sir, yung yung pampatapang nila. Gagawin natin inumin nila para pampalakas ng loob. Para pagtalon nila doon, malakas yung loob na nila. Bawat balik nila, inom, kain. Sobrang tapang na nila.
Candidate 6 is one of the lucky first to try.
Lagyan muna kita ng lipstick para tumapang ka ng tumapang.
Forward! 1!
Sa maganda yung
2! Stand it down! Libero 6, sir! Go!
Ay! Hesitating! No tap, no go! Ba't nag-go ka?
At the end of the zip line, a rope stops the recruits from hitting the trees.
Wala na! Di nakapagbilang!
Next up is female recruit 22, one of the 7 women trying to make the grade. But she's in trouble.
Wait together! Wait together!
The damp conditions are making it difficult to stop.
Ano, okay?
Press, natamaan ng lubid ng pagbaba ko gano'n. Kaya medyo hindi ako makahinga ng konting sa panahon lang. Dito mismo sa may...
Fear is still stopping many from perfecting their exits. They have 7 days to get it right or they miss the jump of their lives and the chance to be part of one of the most elite special ops teams in the country. From airborne operations to sea and jungle warfare, these men of the Force Recon are the first amongst equals. Of the 9,000 Marines today, only 300 have earned the right to wear this badge of honor. But they only get there if they successfully pass some of the toughest training in the Philippine Armed Forces. forward observers need to be sent far behind enemy lines, the Force Recon Battalion send their 8-man teams. But they don't go alone. They're joined by a deadly team of Marine Scout snipers.
Sinusuportahan din nila yung mga operating units sa putok. Pinuputukan nila yung kalaban na merong kinukuberan nila yung nag-assault.
The Marine Scout snipers are masters of camouflage and marksmanship, living up to their motto, one shot, one kill.
Ang isang sundalo pag marunong bumaril, unang-una makakalis ka sa dami ng bala na ipinuputok. Once na pumutok pa, alam mong may tatamaan ka.
To pass the final stage of sniper training, they must put their own lives on the line. This is the confidence firing test. A mistake in this live fire exercise doesn't just mean failing the course. It could mean instant death for their comrade in arms.
Normal na yan sa isang tao, may nervous na lang. Pero dapat i-overcome yung nervous na yan.
It's designed to replicate the psychological pressure of a real operation.
Unang-una, mama, siyempre, tiwala ako sa sarili ko na kaya kong barilin yung lobo. Tsaka tiwala din ako dun sa kabady ko na kaya niyang tumayo sa harap. Kasi alam ko yung kakayahan ng kabady ko, alam ng kabady ko yung kakayahan ko. Kaya yung tiwala, nasa amin.
50% of sniper trainees fail this sharpshooting course, either by not making the grade or backing out on this final confidence test. The members of the Airborne class are in week 4, the towering phase. This stage is key in perfecting the proper exiting procedure from an aircraft. Each day, the challenge of carrying more gear has been added.
Tinatalian ito para sa quick release. Kung halimbawa may combat jump, ito na yung mga dala-dala niya. I-release niya bago sa mag-land kasi hindi siya maka-perform ng PLA pag hindi niya ito na-release.
Today, the jump has to be made wearing full combat gear, all 15 kilograms, and carrying a weapon.
Ali, ito yung last day ng towering ng mga estudyante. I-start sila, hindi pa masyadong marunong pero ngayon, perfect na nila halos perfect na nila yung pag-jump dito sa tower. Katapos nito, ma-check out sila lahat. Proceed tayo sa yung actual jump na.
May ka pa rin pero kaya laban.
Bring up and out! Elbow clip! Head tuck in! All sergeant! 1,000! 2,000!
Kaya dapat ma-qualify nila yung lahat na rifle o pack na same pa rin yung ginagawa nila doon sa ground, yung proper grabbing of reserve. Ang napansin namin doon sa yung jump niya kaya, yung elbow sticking out. Dapat ang ng reserve, dapat dito sa gilid. Delikado yon kasi mula sa taas, pababa ka, ang bilis lang, seconds lang yan. Mataas na yung 20 seconds yan, baba ka na. Kaya pasayos namin palagi na pag-exit, hawak ang reserve automatic.
Traveling at over 35 kilometers an hour, there isn't much time to think. Everything has to be done by instinct, or there won't be enough time to pull your reserve and save your life.
Proper gun grabbing reserve, ha? Oo, Sergeant! Yakyat! O, si Binuan! Hello!
Yun sa kanya ngayon, kasi rifle siya, yung hindi niya tanggal yung yung kuha ng baril, yung tali. Dapat kasi tanggalin mo yun kasi once nagalan ka na, delikado sa mga ganun na sa jumpers na ganun na di matanggal yung tali ng rifle niya. Maaaring ma-injury siya dahil yung baril nga niya nakatali din dito. Si Binuan!
Ilo! Dali sa Binuan, Sergeant!
Yung releasing ng baril mo, ha? Dumate ka! Kaya tingin ko naman makuha na sila lahat ito kasi sa tagal naman ng training, magawa nila ito maganda lahat itong mga kuha na ito. Pinapagawa namin.
It is the last day before the jump, and the Airborne class is putting in some last-minute practice.
Day by day, pahirap po ng pahirap sa awa po ng Diyos na sa ipasan naman po namin lahat.
Makinig ha, tandaan nyo ha kung anong jumpers kayo. Makinig. Porto, tandaan nyo kung anong jumpers kayo ha. Back lagi yung 5.0 performance. Ano yun, check body position and count. Check canopy and gain canopy control ha. Ang paa, posisyon na! Yun, ito ba yung bigat na yung phone?
As they contemplate the final hours before their last test, the recruits share some lighter moments. It's key in strengthening the ties of brotherhood amongst Marines.
Itong airborne training ng Marines ay napakahirap. Pero at the end of the day, pagkatapos ng training, so sama-sama kami sa barracks, nakakapag-usap-usap kami. So kahit pa paano, nawawala yung pagod, yung hirap. So para lang po kami isang pamilya dito na nagkakatuwaan.
Last night, we jumped the night before. We gotta jump tonight as we never jumped before.
Depending on these bonds is how small elite teams overcome enemy forces. It is a matter of life and death. Because behind enemy lines, the only thing they can depend on is each other. The recruits may have conquered their fear of the tower, but things are about to get tougher. All their weeks of training will be put to the test, and this time, if they make the same mistakes, they could pay the ultimate price. In the Philippines, an elite force was formed to counter the nation's communist and Islamist insurgencies. They are the Marine Recon Battalion, who are ready to take action at any moment on land, sea, and air. The day they have all been training for has arrived. It is jump week. Today, it is fly or fail. The recruits will have to exit from an aircraft at 1,500 feet and land safely a total of 5 times in order to earn their silver wings.
Kung naririnig mo ako, advice ni CD mag-early ng 2 seconds from go pan and side over.
Roger, Roger.
Tango Yankee, monitor.
They will be jumping out of a Bell UH-1 helicopter. This aircraft is used to drop troops into remote areas for an assault, taking the enemy by surprise.
Ilagay dyan, then mamaya magkamaling na naman kayo ng bigay. Nalamig na mga kamay nyo.
The drop zone looks like any area of scrubland, but if you're coming at it from 1,500 feet, it's a minefield of potential hazards.
Alapin mo na yung hangin! Huwag ka lang ilo! Steady mo na yan! Break!
Despite 5 weeks of training, their first jump from the aircraft is exposing all of their mistakes.
Nung ako yung pang 5th jump, sumabit ako sa pang-4 na static lines pero naibaway ko agad.
Kasi first jump ko, hindi ako gumawa ng tama. Sinubukan kong itayo yung itong parachute na MC1. Talagang nakakon yung pa ako. Talagang napilayan ako dahil hindi ako gumawa ng tama.
True to being a Marine, they have to be ready for anything, even landing on unexpected terrain.
Sino yung sumabit? Iwan ko, sir. Di ko alam. May sumabit sa atin, sir. 4 na tayo. Talaga si Tolentino. Ha? Nag-isitip na naman. Si ano niya, 5-1. Nag-anong kasi. Gumalulo, kaya ako na-late. Humawak siya sa ano.
Hesitate siya.
Oh, sir.
So,
So nag-hesitate si 5-1 kaya lalo ka na-delay.
Nag-face the wind ako, lalo doon pala sa bubong na ako papunta.
Sige, kasi wala ka ng time na para mag-maneuver pa eh. Ayun, mga ganong landing, hindi na maiwasan yan. But then, piniprepare nga natin yung mga estudyante natin para sa mga ganong senaryo, so mga ganong sitwasyon. Anyway, na-train sila para doon.
Despite the unconventional landing, Recruit 34 passes and moves on to his next jump. But for one recruit, this is his last jump for a long time.
Pagland ko natas yung paa ko pero pagpilot ko wala na bumigay kagad yung paa ko.
His right leg is broken, and it will be another 2 years before it's strong enough for him to jump again. The rest of the Airborne class is getting the hang of it. But there is a problem. Training has been stopped.
Yun naman, hindi naman kasi namin hawak yung talaga schedule ng aircraft. Yun, nag-aantay lang kami ng schedule. Tapos more on mga pep na antayin lang talaga kasi lahat naman hindi nakakagraduate ng Airborne kung hindi ka makakapagtalo ng 5 jump na.
The aircraft has been called away to an operation in Isabela, northern Philippines. The conflict this time coming from the country's 40-year struggle with communist insurgents.
Hindi kasi maiwasan yung magkakaroon ng pag-support. Sa ngayon, continues the basic training of the jumpers and then wait for tomorrow.
With just a jump away from receiving the coveted silver wings, all the recruits can do is wait nervously. Nobody knows if they'll have the chance to pass the course, or if this conflict means all their hard work will be for nothing. It is the final week of the Airborne course. After days of waiting, the recruits finally have a chance to complete the 5 jumps to earn their wings.
Okay, next stick. Sino pa hindi naka-first jumper dyan? Oh, pasok dito.
Meron na po, ma'am, na 4 jumps. Yung actually 51 jumpers. Then yung naka 3 jumps pa lang, ma'am, 38.
Just as the first team jumped, strong winds halt the training. This weather is the most dangerous time for jumping. And one recruit is missing.
Meron po sila palayo dun sa kanina. Kasama siguro namin, gawa ng malakas na talaga yung hangin. Tapos doon na, liberal na doon. Kanya na balance masyado yung niya. Nakakobra yung parachute niya kaya lumayo talaga siya ng gusto.
Malakas na hangin sa taas Daming lakas. Tapos magaan pa siya. Wala, papadala siya doon sa... Pero okay naman yun. Sa sunog yung umusok.
The wind has caught Recruit 1. It's a small injury, but with the strong wind, it could have been much worse. Finally, a break in the weather. Recruits 52, 6, and the rest of their group are on their final jump.
Pag natapos na itong panlimang jump namin, ma'am, makatawag na qualified airborne ka naman pa. Dito mo na lahat mo apply lahat na natutunan mo from the beginning of this course.
Totoo lang po, natatakot din po ako. Kahit sino naman po siguro matatakot sa yung tatalon ka ng ganon kataas.
Lahat naman tayong tao may kaba pero nalalabanan siya. Tapos yun tiwala lang talaga sa sarili.
Sa mo, ma'am, buo yung loob mo, ma'am, kasi tatalon mo. Dating sa taas, ma'am, kami na yung hawak ng buhay namin, ma'am, kasi lupa na yung babagsakan namin.
gagawin ko lahat para matapos. Saka matagal ko na pangarap.
This is the moment they've all been working towards, their 5th and final jump. The one that will finally earn them their silver wings.
Napakasarap sa taas. Although nakakatakot sa una. Whew! Sulit na sulit po. Yung pagod namin sa training, sulit na sulit po.
Ang sarap po. Parang yung sa una nakakatakot yung the moment na you jump. Pero nung naando na, nung naramdaman ko bumuka na yung shoot. Ang sarap sa pakiramdam, parang di ako gumagalaw. Sarap maging airborne! I love airborne!
After 6 weeks of intense physical and mental training, they have now earned the right to be called Airborne.
Pride of Malaysia! Airborne! Airborne!
This is ritual. Welcome to Airborne family.
Dahil Marine ka, kahit anong hirap patay. Pag natapos mo siya, napakasaya. Pagkaan sa pakiramdam.
Itong badge ng Marine Corps, simbolo ito ng Philippines, red, blue. Alika, 3-5!
Airborne! 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 Masarap kasi subukan mo nang tumulon sa totoong real na aircraft. Para kang anghel na lumulutang sa lapaap.
Last night, we jumped the night before. We gotta jump tonight as we never jumped before. 'Cause when we jump, we're happy as can be. 'Cause we are the member of the Airborne company, the best company.
This is Thailand's Marine Recon training course. It's designed to separate the boys from the men and turn what's left into elite soldiers. But to earn this badge of honor, they must first survive 13 weeks of hell. A brutal selection course that 1/3 will fail. Only the best will make the grade. Before conventional forces can make an amphibious assault, Thailand's Marine Recon hit the beaches by sea or air. They're trained in unconventional warfare, operating behind enemy lines, gathering intelligence, and striking enemy targets.
การรวบรวมข่าวสารในเรื่องของการแจ้งเตือนในเรื่องของการทำลายกำลังฆ่าศึกที่สำคัญเนี่ยเราต้องใช้หน่วยที่มีคุณภาพสูง
As communism spread throughout Southeast Asia in the 1950s, Thailand found itself ideologically isolated. Surrounded by neighboring countries, embroiled in conflicts, it needed a new elite fighting force. In 1962, Marine Recon was formed and trained to work behind enemy lines.
ไม่ได้เข้าไปได้ง่ายๆสมัครกัน100 กับ 5 คนเหลืออยู่9 คนเองที่ฝึกอยู่ทุกวันเขาก็บอกเอาเข้าไปจะไปตายกันแล้วก็ไปตอนที่ช่วงที่ฝึกเราก็เอาละเราเข้ามาแล้วเห็นทหารรุ่นน้องรุ่นพี่ๆเขาอยู่ที่กองร้อยเขายังอยู่ได้เลยยังไม่ตายเลยเราก็ไปบ้างใจเรารู้เราเป็นทหารหน่วยกล้าตายไปเผชิญกับข้าศึกแน่นอนอยู่แล้วแต่เราก็ต้องทำหน้าที่ตรงนี้เพราะมีไม่กี่คนที่ว่าจะเป็นทหารแบบนี้
Today, there are only 700 Recon Marines, a small elite club. But to join it, they have to pass Thailand's toughest training course, designed to break all but the best. And the pain starts here, the Marine Special Warfare Training Center in Sattahip, eastern Thailand. It's day 1 of training. These 84 men have been selected from the best of the Thai military. From here on, all officers and men will be equal. No rank, no names, and no hair. This is phase 1, nicknamed Hercules training. 33 days of constant physical and mental punishment. Today's sole aim is to find the weakest recruits.
การฝึกรับน้องก็คือเป็นการฝึกเบื้องต้นถ้าใครเตรียมมาไม่พร้อมไม่ถึงไม่ดีก็จะออกไป
Nearly 1/3 of these men won't make it to the end of training. And some, not even the end of the day.
ฝึก 45 ที่นกอาการของคนไม่เคยออกกำลังกาย
The training here is so extreme that 2 men have died from the previous 2 courses.
ตั้งแต่วันแรกที่นักเรียนก้าวเท้าเข้ามาสู่หลักสูตรนั่นหมายถึงว่ามีอันตรายรีคอนเนี่ยเป็นหลักสูตรที่สามารถจำหน่ายในการเสียชีวิตได้ 5%
It's extreme training for an even more extreme job. In a few months, these men could find themselves in active operations in Thailand's troubled southern provinces. 3 hours in, and it's a run with a log weighing nearly 150 kilograms. The intensity of day 1 training is designed to break the weak. Injuries in the first 24 hours are common. Already, 6 of them have collapsed. And 1 has just given up.
มันลองกระดูกสะโพกมันไปทับเส้นตอนนี้ชาหมดเลยเดินไม่ได้
พอเถอะเหนื่อยแล้วจะไหวก็ออกเพื่อนมึงวิ่งกันทุกคนเลยมึงมาเดินมึงวิ่งไป
ตัวเองไม่ไหวหรอกเข้าใจไหมทำเรียนใหม่ไม่ต้องเสียใจ
Those that fail can apply to next year's course, but the older they are, the tougher it gets. And this year, the odds are against recruit 27. At 35, he's 14 years older than the average volunteer, and already he's struggling.
ขึ้นมาเป็นโลกเลยโอ้ยได้ฟังด้วยเก่งมากครับ
The pain doesn't stop. In teams, they have to now carry 3 rubber dinghies weighing nearly 250 kilograms. These boats will be one of their main modes of transport for the next 13 weeks.
ภารกิจหลักก็คือในเรื่องของการยกพลขึ้นบกวิธีหนึ่งที่เราจะเคลื่อนที่จากเรือนะครับเข้าสู่ฝั่งเนี่ยเราก็ใช้เรือยางในระยะที่เราเข้าใกล้ฝ่ายตรงข้ามครับเราก็จะใช้พายนะครับทั้งนี้นั้นก็เพื่อการรักษาความลับครับ
Day 1 is about to end, and after many being injured, 3 recruits didn't make it to the next stage.
ทุกท่านที่ได้ผ่านกฎนำของหลักสูตรและขอให้ทุกคนโชคดีในการฝึกและได้เครื่องหมายประดับที่อกด้านขวาทุกคน
Those that survive the course will earn this, the Marine Recon badge. It symbolizes the 3 elements they learn to fight in: water, sky, and land. And those recruits that come in the top 10% could join an even more elite club, Force Recon Battalion.
แล้วก็จะมีเฉพาะทหารหน่วยนี้นะครับประมาณ700กว่าคนที่จะมีโอกาสได้ประดับอาร์มนี้ที่เบื้องแขนขวาพวกเราทุกคนจะมีความภูมิใจในเครื่องหมายสัญลักษณ์นี้มากนะครับ
The skull with mask represents their bravery and diving skills, and the paddles signify amphibious capability. But for these recruits, this badge seems a lifetime away. Their next big step is the 60-hour non-stop challenge. The recruits will march, run, and paddle a total of 100 kilometers, with tactical tasks along the route. With little food and sleep and in 35-degree scorching heat, it will push them to their limits.
คือการสร้างเสริมเรื่องของความอดทนเป็นหลักครับแล้วก็สภาพจิตใจแล้วก็ร่างกายเพื่อทำให้เขานั้นสามารถอยู่ในสนามรบได้นานขึ้นนะครับภายใต้สภาวะความกดดันเช่นเหนื่อยหิวง่วงหนาวร้อน
Recruits are assigned one new task every 6 hours. First is the dreaded log carry. They have 4 hours to walk this track before a train comes.
แรงมันไม่ค่อยมีข้าวก็ไม่ได้กินเนี่ย
An active man needs around 3,000 calories a day to keep going. These men are only getting 400 calories. In less than an hour, their body will burn it all up, forcing them to tap into their already dwindling fat reserves. From then on, it's mind over matter.
ไม่เคยเจออะไรแบบนี้มาก่อน100 เมตรเลยแรงของเรามันไม่เท่ากันต้องผัดหนักที่สุดครับที่เคยแบกของมาในชีวิตผมไม่เคยเจออะไรแบบนี้มาก่อนบั่นทอนทั้งร่างกายและจิตใจท้อหิวเหนื่อยแต่ผมไม่ถอยอยู่ที่ใจไปได้ด้วยใจ
But for recruit 27, he has to fight even harder than the rest. At 35, his body is already feeling the pressure.
ทั้งอดนอนไม่ได้กินแล้วก็ไม่รู้สภาพร่างกายเป็นรับได้ยังน้องทุกคนเขาอยู่กันได้ก็อยู่เพราะเราอาวุโสที่สุดแล้วซ้ายถนนไหมนะครับซ้ายถนนเลย
But with only 18 hours left to go in their 60-hour challenge, Recruit 57's team is lost.
ทำให้เพื่อนซวยดีครับโลภอ่ะ
And the situation turns deadly. Recruits fighting to become members of Thailand's elite Marine Recon are in phase 1 of training. They're over halfway along a 100-kilometer route they need to complete in 60 hours. And map reading is key to keeping them on track and on time.
เลข073128
จุดตรวจสอบอีกจุดตรวจสอบที่จะต้องผ่าน
จุดผ่านใช่ไหมครับ
นักเรียนคนนี้เขาคือคนที่จะมานำหน่วยครับ
สำหรับภารกิจของหน่วยเราในครั้งนี้นะครับจะทำการส่งอุปกรณ์ให้กับหน่วยเหนือเพื่อทำการตรวจสอบ
Recruit 57 has only 6 hours to lead his platoon to the first checkpoint.
ตอนชิดซ้ายเรียบร้อยครับห้ามเกินเส้นเหลืองครับห้ามเกินเส้นเหลือง
But he is struggling with reading the map.
พี่ไปเป็นคนแผนที่เลยก็ได้เองบอกก่อนว่าตอนนี้จุดที่เองออกมาจุดไหนเราอยู่นี่เราจะไปจุดตรวจสอบที่ตรงนี้ใช่แยกขอนะพี่เอาเลยว่าไปเลยมั่นใจเองเลยเนาะ
Marine Recon operate in small teams behind enemy lines, and navigational skills are key to survival.
ไม่ได้ไหมพี่ไม่ได้ผมมีประเทศตรงนี้เลี้ยวเข้าไปนี้ไปเจอกำแพงสูง
The team has taken a wrong turn, and with a 2-ton load, it's a big mistake.
นี่จุดผ่านใช่ไหม
เขาคิดว่าตรง3 แยกข้างหน้าที่หยุดลูกขบวนอยู่ตอนนี้เป็นจุดตรวจสอบคนแผนที่กับผบ.ชุดนี่ก็สอบตกวิชาแผนที่กับที่ทั้งคู่ผมไม่แน่ใจว่าเขาจะหาเจอหรือเปล่า
If they don't make it in time, there will be more pain.
ถ้าเขาล้มเหลวเขาจะต้องนำยุทโธปกรณ์เหล่านี้ไปตามคำสั่งของหน่วยเหนืออยู่ดีอาจจะเพิ่มระยะทางไปอีก
Recruit 57's platoon has found the checkpoint.
ถึงจุดตรวจสอบแล้วครับ
เผื่อจะมาถึงครับเซ็งครับทำให้เพื่อนซวยดีครับโลภอ่ะต่อไปเราจะไปที่จุดหมายคืนของครับแต่ต้องทันเวลาอีก2 ชั่วโมงกว่า3 ชั่วโมง
After walking for hours and losing their way twice, his team is exhausted. Recruit 46 takes a sudden fall. Breathing too hard, he is hyperventilating.
ทำไมรถไม่มาวะ
This has reduced the blood circulation to his brain, causing him to collapse. Medics need to urgently replace his CO2 levels.
ถ้ารักษาตัวเกิน 24 ชั่วโมงนี่คือก็ต้องออกจากการศึกษา
The rest of the platoon has arrived at the next checkpoint, where Recruit 57 gets his punishment.
ให้ไปหัวหน้าชุด แต่ว่าให้ไปเอาแผนที่มาดูเอง จริงเป็นหน้าที่ของอีกคนนึงครับ
การสั่งคนยังไม่เด็ดขาดพอคนเรามันไม่เก่งตั้งแต่เกิดครับต้องฝึกเท่านั้นครับ
The day has ended, but their pain isn't over yet. After marching for 36 hours, this next challenge will see them paddle these rubber dinghies for 10 kilometers, approach an enemy position, and attack it.
ฝึกเพื่อให้เกิดความคุ้นเคยในการนำเรือออกจากฝั่งในการพายเรือในเวลากลางคืนเข้าพื้นที่เป้าหมายหรือพื้นที่ข้าศึกพายเข้ามาเลยเงียบที่สุด
This is the last challenge in the 60-hour task. All 8 boats need to arrive as a team, but the men are exhausted.
ยังไงคือตอนนั้นไปเลยนะในตาสว่างว่ะ
เราไม่ได้นอนมาหลายวันครับบางคนก็ไม่ไหวบางคนก็อาจจะมีหลับบ้างบวนเป๋บ้างในท้ายเอียงบ้าง
The boats are slowing down and running behind schedule.
นักเรียนใหญ่มันห่างมากพายเรือตอนกลางคืนน่ะไอ้บาโว่เนี่ยขึ้นมาเองบาโว่เล่นขึ้นมาอีกมันห่างไป
6 ฝีพายนักเรียนลงแค่ประมาณครึ่งเดียวเรือไม่เดินหน้าพายไปเร็วๆหน่อย
They've reached the next objective, but late, and that means punishment.
ไปอยู่ไหนกันมาเนี่ยนักเรียนถ้าศึกหนีไปหมดแล้ว
ภารกิจนะให้เสร็จสิ้นก่อน 24:00 นะครับแต่นักเรียนขึ้นมา 01:40 ภารกิจล้มเหลวผมหน่วยว่าไง59 6 หวายครับ6 หวายหรือ10 เมตรไป
ผู้พ่ายแพ้ต้องได้รับบทเรียนที่เจ็บปวดลุกถอดเสื้อผ้าทั้งหมดสุดท้าย
After nearly 3 days of physical pain, they will now be punished to test their mental strength.
จำลองเฉลย
The outside temperature is 22 degrees, but this ice bath is 5. Their body's extremities will begin to shut down. Arms, legs, and feet will go numb, while the body goes into survival mode.
เขาจะต้องทนเจ็บทนทรมานต่อความหนาวจัดต่อความเจ็บปวด
This may seem like a reality TV show, but these men have marched for nearly 60 hours. With little food and sleep, it's designed to train them for the ultimate test: combat. From the 1970s, Thailand fought border wars with the Khmer Rouge and Vietnamese troops along its Cambodian border. Marine Recon Captain Kun Kang led his men in battle in 1978.
เราเรียนจากรบพิเศษมาทำให้ร่างกายเราเนี่ยแข็งแรงนะครับแข็งแรงอดทนทำให้เราสงบนิ่งให้เรามีสมาธิมีการตัดสินใจที่เข้มแข็งแล้วก็เด็ดขาดปะทะกับทหารของเขมรแดงนะครับระเบิดมันตกลงมาตรงกลางกลุ่มผมพอดี คนข้างหลังก็บอกตายหมดแล้วแต่ขณะนั้นนะผมสงบนิ่งคิดว่าเราก็ยังสามารถที่จะคอนโทรลลูกน้องได้โดยเรียกในผู้หญิงมาเสริมแล้วก็ช่วยกันเชียงเอาศพรอดใต้ลวดหนามออกมาจากฝั่งกัมพูชาได้
But before they hit the front lines, these men have to make the grade. It's the final dash to the finish of the 60-hour task and the end of Phase 1 training.
ไม่มีคำบรรยายเหนื่อย
เป็นช่วงสุดท้ายของปัญหา 60 นะครับแล้วเราจะพาเขาแบกเรือไปนี่ไปจบปัญหาที่หลักสูตร
If one man lowers his head while carrying these 80-kilogram rubber boats, everyone suffers.
สุดๆถึงวันพรุ่งนี้ไว้เส้นชัยอ่ะเร็ว
Teamwork is the only thing that will get them through.
นิดเดียวมึงเชื่อกูนิดเดียวมึงก้าวมามึงก้าวมาไหม
เป็นอดีตมา5 กิโลแล้วแค่100 เมตรเองชนะเราก็ต้องเข้าเส้นชัยด้วยกันทั้งหมดทั้ง7 คน
Recruit 27, the oldest recruit, collapses on the finish line. Temporarily unconscious, he's lifted to his feet by his instructors.
ขอแสดงความยินดีกับนักเรียนที่ผ่านการฝึกในภาคที่ตั้งและยินดีต้อนรับนักเรียนทุกคนสู่ภาคทะเล
รางวัลที่ไว้ให้คนตั้งใจสุดยอดครับ
Against the odds, the oldest recruit makes it to Phase 2. Recruit 57, who got his team lost, crosses the line.
ผมมาอยู่ตรงนี้ไม่ได้ครับถ้าไม่มีเพื่อนๆทุกคนครับใจครับใจต้องแก่งครับ
With the physical land-based training behind them, it's time to move on to Phase 2. Amphibious warfare training, nicknamed the Alligator Phase.
ไม่ตายหายใจไว้
It will see them face their biggest challenges yet, including the dreaded wet jump. It's Phase 2 of Thailand's elite Marine Recon training course. These men are specialized in clearing the way ahead for a brigade amphibious landing. They need to be as comfortable in the water as on land. Today, the recruits will learn a vital recon skill, the wet jump.
การฝึกที่นักเรียนกำลังทำอยู่ขณะนี้ก็คือการส่งชุดปฏิบัติการแทรกซึมเข้าพื้นที่ทางทะเลด้วยฮอครับ
Jumping from a helicopter is a quick way to deploy small teams behind enemy lines. For today's training, they must learn to jump 10 feet from a moving helicopter and then swim to shore. Safety boats are on standby.
ยังทรงตัวไม่ดีนะครับแล้วรีบร้อนออกมานะครับน้ำตัวอาจจะไปฟาดกับพื้นน้ำก็อาจจะมีการจุกแสบ
ความสูง 10 ฟุตดูจะไม่สูงเท่าไหร่แต่ก็อันตรายทั้งความเร็วด้วย10 น็อต
In a real operation, they could be carrying an extra 20 kilograms of equipment and weapons. Hitting the water badly could knock them unconscious and they could drown.
กระแทกเลยเอาหน้าลงฝึกก็ฝึกมาแล้วทำการบนฝั่งมาแล้วไป
The next test is to swim 500 meters to the beach with their equipment.
ว่ายต่างคนต่างว่ายเนี่ยเกิดมีปัญหาอะไรขึ้นมาจะช่วยกันไม่ได้ก็เลยต้องว่ายมาเป็นทีม
In real operations, this would happen at night, and not getting it right could have deadly consequences. And that's what these men will face next. The dreaded night swimming test that has already claimed 2 lives. It's dusk as they warm up for the swim. It's designed as a method to insert recon teams from a landing craft onto an enemy-held beach. 5.5 kilometers is beyond the distance a possible enemy sentry could see from shore. They have 3 hours to complete the swim.
ทรายเยอะเรียนตอนนี้นักเรียนตรงทุ่นแล้วนะ
They swim in operational conditions. No noise and no light. Exhaustion can lead to drowning. So separating from the team is a real danger.
นักเรียนว่ายรอเพื่อนด้วยกลุ่มใหญ่เป็นกลุ่มใหญ่ไม่กลุ่มเล็ก
The silence and dark make them disoriented, and for the weak swimmers, that can lead to disaster. During extreme stress and exhaustion, accidents in the open ocean can turn fatal. In 2009 and 2010, recruits died during this exercise. Active drowning can happen when exhausted recruits can no longer stay afloat, and their lungs start to fill with water. Being half an hour from the nearest hospital, the chances of resuscitation are slim. Recon instructors are determined not to let it happen again.
ครั้งนี้เราจะมีเรือเซฟตี้อยู่5 ลำจะล้อมเรียนไว้จะให้เรียนไว้เป็นกลุ่มไปทั้งหมดไม่มีการไหว้ตัวใครตัวมันออกไป
They are monitoring every recruit, looking for the danger signs.
ไหวไหมเอาให้มูหายใจไม่ได้ครับไม่ได้เลยครับเห็นพันก็โอ้เสด็จครับ
The oldest recruit is taken onto the boat.
พอได้ครับพอได้ได้ไหมพอได้ครับผมเชื่อได้พวกคอยเที่ยว
But after catching his breath, the instructors decide recruit 27 can rejoin the group for the last kilometer. Exhausted but alive, they crawl ashore.
หายใจไม่ออกครับ
เขาบอกเอาชีวิตตัวเองไว้ก่อนผมก็เลยเดี๋ยวขอลองอีกทีแล้วกันครับก็เลยขอลงอีกทีนึงไอ้ลงครั้งที่2ก็เลยว่ายหงายตัวมาก็เลยพอว่ายหงายการหายใจมันคล่องขึ้น
At 35 years old, recruit 27 is battling the odds.
เมียก็ตอนหลังจากจบปัญหา60แล้วเขาก็ไม่อยากให้มาเพราะว่าเห็นสภาพผมแล้วทำใจไม่ได้ผมใจสู้ครับ
All 57 recruits pass the swim. But dawn brings a new amphibious challenge. They now need to paddle their rubber dinghies 27 kilometers in open ocean in under 5 hours. But it's more than just a workout.
อาจจะได้รับภารกิจที่พายออกจากเรือใหญ่ซึ่งจอดอยู่ระยะไกลฝั่งครับคือแทรกซึมเข้ามาในพื้นที่ใช้เรือยางแทรกซึมเข้ามานะครับเพราะว่ามันเงียบนะครับ
6 men row while one keeps direction at the back. To move its speed in the right direction will need teamwork.
ครับถ้าไม่พร้อมกันนะครับระยะทางก็ไม่ได้เวลาก็อาจจะเกินนะครับภารกิจก็อาจล้มเหลว
ช่วงให้เต็มพาย16นะไม่ได้เรื่องนะถ้าควบคุมไม่ได้เรื่องเดี๋ยวโดดน้ำ
ไปว่ายน้ำตามเรือเลย
Hours of paddling and recruit 19 reveals a secret.
ที่บ้านยังไม่รู้เพราะถ้าเขารู้เขาคงไม่ให้มาเรียนแน่นอนลำบากชนิดที่ว่าตัวเองยังไม่รู้เลยต้องลำบากขนาดเราเลือกที่จะมาแล้วเลือกที่จะฝึกแล้วต้องเอาให้ได้
ให้เพิ่มจังหวะการพายให้เร็วกว่านี้
ช่วยกันดึงน้ำนักเรียนปีเข้าไปคู่กันเสาคู่นั่นน่ะเห็นเปล่าเร็ว
They hit the the beach 1 hour late. Punishment is handed out, recon style.
หลังจากที่พายเรือยางทนมาแล้วเนี่ยขึ้นฝั่งก็จะต้องดำเนินภารกิจต่อนะในการรบการปฏิบัติแบบการรบพิเศษนะซึ่งไม่ได้เสร็จสิ้นเพียงแค่ภารกิจที่แนวหน้าหาดเท่านั้น
This exercise will train Marine Recon how to clear a path for a main brigade up to a minimum of 12 kilometers inland. In real operations, they would hide the boats before moving. But in training, they have to run 12 kilometers in 30-degree heat. The first casualty is Recruit 78. The loss of large amounts of fluids and body salts result in massive muscle cramps. He's also hyperventilating, lowering his carbon dioxide to a dangerous level. The medic tries to balance the CO2 in his system by making him rebreathe into a bag. Another man down. The oldest on the course, Recruit 27, has collapsed again.
โอเค
สู้ไปสู้สู้ขึ้นรถไปไม่ขึ้นทำไมขึ้นก็วิ่งต่อเลย
The brutal training continues, and for Recruit 78, it could be the end. It's week 6 of Thailand's elite Marine Recon training course. 57 recruits are battling to pass Phase 2 Amphibious assault training. Recruit 78 collapses while carrying a rubber boat. He is slowly recovering. His platoon have decided to wait for him.
ครับไม่เป็นไรเขาหยุดแล้วหยุดเลยไม่มีปัญหาได้ครับได้ครับกูนั่งก่อนไม่เป็นไรนั่งก่อนไม่เป็นไรนั่งก่อนไม่รู้เรื่องไม่เป็นไรใจเย็นนะได้โอเคจอดแล้ว
Together, the teams make it to the end of this stage. But for Recruit 6, one last massive effort is needed just to be able to keep standing.
ไปพี่กอดกองไหมแข็งใจไว้ดิแข็งใจไว้จบแล้วกอดกองไหมจบแล้วนะกอดกองไหมไม่ต้องจับกอดกองไหมการเป็นรบพิเศษต้องสละแล้วทุกสิ่งทุกอย่าง
จากตูอยู่เดียวหูวิเทศและลมฟ้าอากาศจากเลวร้ายสะพานใดก็ตามก็หาทำให้ฐานหน่วยนี้เสียคนจนเป็นความตั้งใจใหญ่ไหมเพราะเรายึดมั่นเสมอว่าภารกิจเหนือสิ่งใดแม้ชีวิต
This phase of training is designed to push the men to work together as a team.
ผมจะล้มแต่สุพรรณมันแล้วน้อง40บอกว่าพี่สู้เอาหน่อยอีกนิดผมก็ฝืนมาเรื่อยๆจนผมรู้สึกว่าผมหายใจไม่ออกผมก็ดับหัวล้มลงไปแล้วรู้สึกตัวอีกทีผมก็อยู่บนไหล่ของ40แล้วครับทหารนยเนี่ยเขาจะมีคำพูดคำหนึ่งครับคือว่าเขาจะไม่ทิ้งใครไปข้างหลังครับถ้าเอาศพกลับมาไม่ได้ก็ให้เพิ่มศพเข้าไปอีกครับ
นักเรียนลาดตระเวนวิทยาวัฒน์โพธาเจริญ
Recruit 78 collapsed twice, but against all odds, he crossed the line.
ผมก็พยายามแบบลุกขึ้นมาแต่มันก็ลุกไม่ได้สักทีครับใจผมไปแล้วไปกับเพื่อนแต่ตัวผมมันไปไม่ได้ผมเด็กบ้านนอกมาผมก็คิดถึงบ้านธรรมดาครับผมบอกเขาจะเอาปีกไปฝากเขาผมต้องทำให้ได้ครับ
57 candidates remain on the course, and the training will just get harder. Today, they will test their ocean survival skills to the limit. Marine Recon use assault ships to move them close to shore. This exercise is an abandoned ship drill. But jumping from nearly 10 meters will take nerves of steel.
เรืออาจจะไม่ต่ำแค่นี้อาจจะสูงกว่านี้ก็เลยเลือกจุดที่สูงที่สุดของเรือ
Some do it with ease, but Recruit 71 suffers from vertigo.
เต้นนิดนึง
สั่นแล้วออกไปอีกขยับอีกขยับอีกขยับอีกปลายเท้าออกไปหน่อยพร้อมแล้วไปได้
Before the next test, they are treated to lunch aboard ship and some recon punishment.
พื้นเรือเป็นเหล็กครับเสื้อ2 ชั้นนะยังร้อนอยู่เลยเหมือนหมูในกระทะของหมูกระทะครับ
เรากินเพื่ออยู่หวังต่อสู้เพื่อการศึกษา
เป็นการฝึกรับประทานอาหารในสภาวะที่มันลำบากเราต้องเอาตัวรอดเอาชีวิตรอดไว้ก่อน
In real operations, these men need to be prepared for any emergency at sea. Their lives and the lives of their teammates depend on how strong they are in the water.
โอกาสจะจมน้ำมีนะเนี่ยเกิดให้เขาฝึกการถอดเสื้อผ้าออกเพื่อให้เขาสามารถว่ายน้ำขึ้นสู่ฝั่งได้ง่ายขึ้น
Recruit 27, the oldest of the team, goes first.
ขออนุญาตทำการทดสอบถอดชุดในน้ำครั้งที่1พร้อมเอาเลย
The men need to be able to tread water and quickly remove their uniforms. Then put them back on again. The longer it takes, the weaker they will get, and the less likely they will pass.
แก้มือรายงาน
For Recruit 66, the weakest swimmer, this test could be the end of the line.
มันจะไม่รอดรายงาน
นักเรียนลาตัวเองที่ดินเนอร์วิจงหมายหมายแรก
He is exhausted and he can swallow water. If that happens, not only will he fail, he's in danger of drowning if the safety team can't react quick enough.
เอารายงานไม่ต้องแก้มือรายงาน
ต้องถอยไม่ได้หรอกถ้ามันเร็วได้เนี่ย
The instructors pull him in.
แม่งวะมาทางนี้เลยนี่มันพลาดครับเชือกลงไปแก้วเท้าเชือกเท้ามันพันคือปัญหาเราคือลอยตัวไม่ได้อยู่แล้วเนี่ยพอกางเกงไปพันขาปุ๊บเราตีขาไม่ได้มันก็เกิดอาการสำลักจนต้องขึ้นมาครับทำไม่ได้แล้วเราเปลี่ยนท่านอนตั้ง
Recruit 66 gets some extra instruction.
สวยใจให้เต็มปอดทำตัวให้โค้งนะทำตัวให้โค้ง
And is given another chance.
ไม่ต้องไปเติมเต้น
He needs to put on his uniform as quickly as possible before he gets too weak.
2 เมตรอีก2 เมตร2 เมตรดีดีก่อนทำการถอดชุดแต่ชุดในน้ำ1เรียบร้อย
Everyone has passed the test and will enter the final stage of training, the jungle phase. Marine Recon Recon troops need to be able to operate in tropical jungles as well as the ocean. The next 4 weeks will see them tested to their limits. First, they're taught how to survive deep behind enemy lines.
ประเทศของเราเนี่ยหรือในภูมิภาคของเรานะครับมันมีงูอยู่เราจะอยู่ยังไงกับมันได้แล้วเราก็ไม่กลัวมันจะฉกได้เท่ากับที่มันยกขึ้นมา
Thailand's jungles are home to some of the deadliest creatures on Earth. A bite from a cobra can kill a man in 24 hours. It produces neurotoxin that attacks the nervous system, making victims paralyzed and unable to breathe.
นั่งลงแต่ว่าเราไม่มีน้ำที่ไหนแล้วหาอะไรไม่ได้เราต้องสามารถที่จะน้ำจากสัตว์นี้ได้
อร่อยดีครับชื่นดีมันน่าจะช่วยในด้านจิตใจของเราให้กล้าทำในสิ่งที่เราก็ฝืนใจ
In a survival situation, snake's meat is a good source of protein. Behind enemy lines, they need to do anything to survive. While fighting deep in the jungle against communists in the 1970s, Recon Captain Kun Kang spent weeks surviving on anything his team could find.
เขาจะพยายามจำกัดเราไม่ให้ออกไปไหนแม้แต่คอปเตอร์มาส่งเสบียงเรานี่ก็ส่งไม่ได้น้ำท่าไม่มีก็เลยต้องใช้ดำรงชีพด้วยการต้นกล้วยเจาะด้วยโคนกล้วยนะครับแล้วทำเป็นหลุมๆแล้วก็เอาหลอดซางหลอดพวกไม้ไผ่แล้วเสียบและให้น้ำมันไหลลงมาใส่กระติกมันก็ทำให้เราได้นึกว่าที่เราเรียนรบพิเศษมาเรียนรีคอนมาเนี่ยมันได้ประโยชน์
Marine Recon leaves the most dangerous part of the course until last. The final phase of training will see all their skills come together in a live firing exercise with an explosive ending. It's the final phase of an elite training course for Thailand's Marine Recon. They've spent the last 3 months learning to fight and survive on sea and land. Now, they move into a potentially deadly stage, live firing and explosives training.
ก็ต้องระวังครับเพราะว่าข้างๆเป็นเพื่อนเป็นคนมีชีวิตครับพลาดไปมันขอโทษกันไม่ได้
ส่วนสนับสนุนจะเข้าวางตัวก่อนโดยวางตัวทางปีกซ้ายและปีกขวาแล้วก็ยิงเข้ายังที่หมายก่อนส่วนชุดโจมตีนะครับก็จะคอยจังหวะที่ข้าศึกหรือฝ่ายตรงข้ามนี่ไม่ตอบโต้แล้วนะครับก็เคลื่อนที่เข้าไปเคลียร์ที่หมาย
They will learn how to move across the battlefield. One team laying down fire support while the other moves forward. It's a dangerous time. If a recruit misfires, it could hit the others and be deadly. They are firing light machine guns, M16, and live M26 grenades. A mistimed grenade thrown incorrectly could cause multiple casualties. This is the one point in their training the men have to carefully control their aggression. If they don't focus under pressure, a misfire could kill their teammates. The live firing exercise was a success, but now it's time for the bigger bangs. The team will learn how to handle explosives and mines.
หมุนเดียวเพื่อที่เอาจุกเนี่ย
วัตถุระเบิดที่ใช้เนี่ยมันเป็นวัตถุระเบิดจริงนะครับแล้วก็ที่สำคัญก็คือเพื่อให้นักเรียนเนี่ยได้เกิดความคุ้นเคยนะการใช้วัตถุระเบิดต่างๆ
First up, hands-on detonating a charge of TNT explosives. TNT is often used on attacks or demolitions. It can't detonate without a charge, so it's perfect for beginners. They will blow up a quarter pound of TNT to show the men its destructive power.
1 2 3 4 5พร้อมจุดระเบิด
Next, the men will have to lay down their own charge and slowly walk nearly 300 meters out of the danger zone. This is an exercise to make them understand each device's dangers and limitations. And any mistakes could turn deadly.
เมื่อทำการจุดระเบิดแล้วต้องเดินเร็วๆนะครับไม่วิ่งเพราะถ้าวิ่งแล้วเกิดหกล้มแล้วจะเกิดอันตรายได้
First up is Recruit 71.
ตื่นเต้นนิดหน่อยครับไม่เคยจุด
He needs to pull the detonator once and slowly walk away.
จุดระเบิดเขาที่กระบัง3 จุดติดเพิ่งเคยทำครั้งแรกครับ ต้องทำหลายๆครั้งจะได้มั่นใจกว่านี้ระเบิดก็เทระเบิด
57 men have endured the toughest 3 months of their lives to reach this point. The last test before earning their recon badge and joining a small group of elite men. The final 72-hour challenge will see them walk for 150 kilometers and paddle for another 5. They are just hours from the end, but a lifetime of pain away. Recruits have reached the shore. Now the real pain begins.
ก็เหลืออีกประมาณ1 ชั่วโมงจบหลักสูตรซึ่งนักเรียนก็จะทำการแบกระยางทนเข้าไปในบริเวณ
It's only one final push of mind over body to earn the Marine Recon badge.
บรรพบุรุษของทหารนาวิกโยธินเสียสละเพื่อปกป้องประเทศชาติครูหวังเป็นอย่างยิ่งว่าผลผลิตของหลักสูตรการรบพิเศษจะได้จันโรงความตั้งใจของบรรพบุรุษของเราที่จะรักษาประเทศชาติอธิปไตยจนกว่าชีวิตจะหาไม่ขอปิดหลักสูตรการฝึกการรบพิเศษณบัดนี้
It's an emotional occasion for all the men and a time to celebrate.
ดีใจมากที่ลูกรอดนะ
ดีใจมากบอกไม่ถูกสุดยอดมันเป็นปีที่ผมฝันมาตั้งนานเลย
Many thought at 35 this recruit would never make the grade.
ไม่เสียดายเวลาแล้วก็เงินที่ลงทุน
ด้วยอายุของ2 7เนี่ยถือว่าเป็นข้อจำกัดในการเรียนแต่ว่าสภาพจิตใจเขาเกิน100ผมพูดแล้วขนลุกเพราะผมเรียนเองตอนอายุนั้นตอนเรียนก็อายุ22เองตอนนี้เขาเป็นลูกน้องผมอยู่ที่100เดียวกันเยี่ยมมาก
To pass this course, each man had to dig deep inside.
สิ่งที่เราคิดว่าเราทำไม่ได้แต่เราสามารถทำได้
นึกย้อนหลังไปว่าแป๊บเดียวแต่ถ้านึกเป็นวันไปมาก
They've now become members of an elite club, Thailand's Marine Recon. This is Malaysia's GGK Commando Training Course, designed to separate the boys from the men and turn what's left into elite soldiers. But to earn the Green Beret, they must first survive 13 weeks of hell. A brutal selection course that almost half will fail. And only the best will survive. Before large forces hit the combat zone, Malaysia's Group Gerakas Commandos are the first men on the ground, sneaking in deep behind enemy lines by air, sea, or land.
Dipecahkan kepada kumpulan-kumpulan kecil. Yang mana kumpulan-kumpulan kecil ni kalau kita tengok zaman sekarang ni lebih kepada operasi gerila.
To gather intelligence.
Maksud dia, kita hanya memerlukan 5 orang anggota kita yang pakar dalam latihan-latihan ni dan kita akan carilah local resources daripada mana.
Rescue hostages or make the kill. They get in and they get out undetected. But what makes them a cut above the rest is their ability to fight and survive in some of the world's most extreme jungles. Malaysia borders 6 countries in a region plagued by past conflicts, one of which gave birth to this elite unit. 1963, neighboring country Indonesia launches the Crush Malaysia campaign, sending troops to attack the newly independent nation. A difficult border war was fought deep in the rainforests of Borneo, and a new elite force was needed, skilled in unconventional jungle warfare. Britain's Green Berets, the Royal Marine Commandos, were sent to help train a new group of fighters. 1,600 soldiers volunteered for training. 300 were selected. Of the 50 that went through the first course, only 12 passed. Today, there are fewer than 3,500 GGK Commandos, a small elite club. To join it, these men will have to go through 3 months of relentless physical and psychological torture that will break all but the best. And the pain starts here. The Special Warfare Training Center in Malacca, southwest Malaysia. 5 a.m. 180 new recruits are in week 1 of their course. Just to get here, they've already passed a 6-week selection process. Now, these survivors are about to start the real thing. If they thought they knew what was ahead, they were wrong. In phase 1 of this course, instructors are looking to lose the weakest recruits as quickly as possible. They've just begun 36 hours of continuous hell that will push everyone to the edge. It seems like torture, but it's designed to find out who really wants to be here.
I want to challenge myself how far I can go. It's called adrenaline rush.
To join the commando, you must be volunteer. So if you enter the main gate, there is a word say, if you are not sure, please go back.
The tiger is the commando's regimental crest, signifying bravery, ferocity, and strength. Qualities they expect those that pass to possess. They've done 5 hours of endless, brutal exercises. The recruits are exhausted. But weakness is not accepted. Recruit 12 isn't keeping up.
Banyakkan yang susul kita ada macam didikan ketabahan. Bagi saya setakat ni saya boleh ikut lagi lah.
Go! Kopro, masuk ke sini. Kopro, kamu hidup. Kiri, go! Pak, coba, go. Pak, kau sudah apa kau?
Boleh dah. Boleh dah.
Boleh.
Boleh dah.
This is what they are fighting for, the coveted Green Beret. Inherited from the Royal Marine Commandos, it's an iconic symbol of an elite group.
Jadi Green Beret ni sesiapa yang memiliki Green Beret diumpamakan adalah askar yang terbaik di dalam Malaysia.
But only a select few of these recruits will ever get to wear it. The men are trained, but there will be no rest. They've only completed 7 hours. They've got 29 more to go. Next is an 11-kilometer run.
Go!
With a 17-kilogram combat load and 87 minutes to finish it. To make it harder, it's midday, and the temperature is above 30 degrees Celsius.
This giant spotlight melting me down. It's a real tough.
In this heat, losing fluids is a real problem. Muscles start to cramp and the body starts to overheat. Dehydration means failure. 40 minutes into the run and the sun has claimed its first victim.
Dalam keadaan macam ni kita dah banyak running basic commando, jadi bagi saya dah biasa.
If recruits are sent to the hospital, they automatically fail the course. With little time left, they can't afford to slow down for a minute. Time is up. 77 have failed the run. And the 30-degree heat has taken its toll on everyone.
My knee was injured. I feel okay. I can breathe normally, but I'm totally sad.
24 hours in, and overnight another 7 recruits have dropped out due to injuries from yesterday's run. 173 survivors are already on their next challenge. It's the 300-meter obstacle course, designed to test balance, confidence, and above all, teamwork. The last hurdle will be the toughest, a 3.5-meter vertical wall.
They have to work in team. They cannot work solo. If they make it solo, they just cannot make it.
Teamwork is essential to be a GGK commando. In real operations, teamwork will keep them alive. Recruit 12 is once again struggling, holding up the rest of his team.
Saya dah 31, yang geng ni baru ada yang 21, 20. So saya terpaksa bersaing dengan umur yang 10 tahun lebih ke bawah dengan saya.
Some teams have already reached the final hurdle, the 3.5-meter wall. Now, it's time for teamwork. To clear this obstacle, they need to form a pyramid. Short guys on the bottom, tallest and lightest aiming for the top. A falling recruit becomes the first casualty. His M16 rifle muzzle puncturing his neck. In battle, failure to work together could mean more than a flesh wound. They reorganize and clear the wall. It's 30 hours in, but not over yet. This obstacle course is just preparing them for an even tougher challenge. Tonight, they will do it in the dark, 10 meters above the ground. Making a small mistake up here could be their biggest. Recruits fighting to become a part of Malaysia's elite commando unit are in phase 1 of one of the toughest selection courses in the world. 7 of 180 have already failed, and those who have made it this far are totally exhausted. Their next challenge will be the toughest yet, the dreaded Tarzan course. It starts with a 10-meter rope climb. 8 obstacles designed to test their nerve, coordination, and teamwork. Recruits have to navigate from one end to the other using ropes and beams without falling, all at night.
It's a confident building exercise because that's why you can see this height and see only a small cable to cross the log, and also they have to crawl in the rope.
Yang mencabar sekali, masa last sekali untuk didikan ketabahan tu, dia ada macam Tarzan swing tu. Ada setengah yang tak dapat ke jaring tu terus jatuh ke bawah.
What would be easy for seasoned soldiers under normal circumstances is now compounded by fatigue and stress.
Siapa yang tidak gayak klik ke bawah, dia akan rasa tak boleh buat benda ni.
One recruit has paused at the top, but there is no way down.
No! No!
Recruit 12 is doing better than expected, but he's got one final hurdle, the Tarzan swing.
Saya rasa benda tu gembira sebab saya boleh lakukan. Sebab lagi cepat kita buat, lagi cepat kita punya benda tu selesai.
36 of the longest hours of their lives have ended. But despite tonight's success, Recruit 12 has failed week 1 of the course.
Untuk kenangan tu, saya rindu bersama dengan saya punya intik saya ni. Sebab kita makan sama, tidur pun kita sama-sama bangun, makan pun sama-sama yang ada.
144 recruits remain, and they have 56 more days of the selection course to go. Phase 2. The training from here moves into a more tactical phase. It's going to get tougher and tougher. Next up, they face a 160-kilometer non-stop forced march that will take them 3 days. It's the equivalent of doing almost 4 marathons back-to-back, with little food and even less rest. Normally, 1 in 4 don't reach the finish line.
Untuk menguji ketahanan mental dan fizikal. Sekiranya berlaku yang sebenar, kita akan lari lebih daripada ini lagi. Jarak dia lebih jauh lagi pada 160 km. Maybe 200 km atau lebih lagi lah.
The GGK normally operate on foot, covering huge distances. But getting behind the enemy lines sometimes requires another skill.
Kalau kita boleh jalan darat, mungkin banyak risiko yang kita ingat, mungkin dengan bobby trap, dengan jerangkak sama, dengan berbagai halangan, dan masa yang diambil adalah lambat. Mungkin 2-3 jam kita nak terjun, dan kita akan digugurkan kalau melalui static jump. Mungkin dalam 55 saat ke 1 minit kita dah sampai ke sasaran daripada buka payung. So tujuan kita menggunakan parachute ni adalah untuk menyusup ke negara atau ke tempat musuh itu dengan lebih cepat dan selamat.
But these recruits have to learn to walk before they can fly. It's day 1 of the longest march of their lives. The terrain is uneven and the weather extremely hot. 50 kilometers on day 1 and 9 recruits have already dropped out.
Sebab dia melampaui akal manusia biasa. Saya daripada Kuala Lumpur, KL. Lahir KL, besar KL. Sebab semua orang pandang orang KL ni lemah, leput.
sangat lemah. Tapi saya nak buktikan orang KL boleh. Orang KL boleh berjaya sebagai seorang komando.
They're losing more fluids than they can possibly replace. Dehydration is a real threat. Instructors keep a close eye out for telling signs. Its first symptoms are muscle cramps and dizziness, which can rapidly lead to a full body shutdown.
Dia gigit kayu tu supaya dia tak boleh menggigit dia punya lidah. Sebab dia sekarang ni keadaan panas tinggi. Dia hilang dia punya kawalan otak dia dah hilang. Jadi dia akan gigit lidah.
The recruits are carrying 17-kilogram packs. It's up to them to decide when to snack and replace vital fluids.
Go! Lojok! Dapat kiri!
But the instructors set the pace.
Go! Buatkan semangat tu! Cepat! Go! Hei, teruskan! Dah sampai dah, dekat dah!
They are trying to keep the pack together to avoid any stragglers who may be tempted to hitch a ride. It's 15 hours in, and for some, the end of the road.
Go!
But not everyone is struggling.
Saya suka jalan laju, saya suka sangat. Mula-mula saya jalan pun saya terpeling. Tapi kaki saya sakit ya. Tapi saya force saya punya badan saya, lepas tu panas semua. Lepas tu okey ya.
Tinggal paham 04.
My body is okay. There's no much pain here and there, so my leg is still okay. So far, so good. I can still walking, can still smiling.
At this stage, teamwork and leadership will be judged. Recruit 2 needs his section to keep up.
4.5 4.8 5.9.
I need them to be motivated in everything they do. They just need to run for 5 seconds. So dash for 5 seconds and then we take rest. Soldier is about teamwork. So how big or small we are, we need to be together.
GGK commandos need to push themselves beyond the normal physical pain barrier. It takes extreme mental strength to keep the body moving. But in combat, that could save lives. 90 kilometers in, as high noon hits, some can't take the pain anymore. Despite Recruit 2's best efforts, one of his buddies is in serious trouble.
Jangan sampai naik mudun. Maju. Semangat.
Disorientation and confusion are signs of advanced dehydration.
Badi depan tu, Badi.
Pegang dah, papa dah penyek.
His friends want him to finish, but his condition is getting worse.
Kita tunggu ada sebab dia ada doktor. Doktor akan beri keputusan lah sama ada dia boleh teruskan lagi ataupun tak boleh teruskan lagi.
They urgently need to rehydrate him. If he doesn't get saline solution in the next few minutes, he could go into shock and die. 135 of Malaysia's toughest men are in the middle of a 3-month selection course to become part of Malaysia's elite special forces unit, the GGK Commandos. They are in Phase 2, a 160-kilometer forced march lasting 3 days. A recruit has become severely dehydrated. If he doesn't get saline solution fast, his body could shut down.
Dia kegah tangan susah nak cucuk jarum.
Hei, kau buat. Hei.
He wakes but needs urgent medical attention. He'll survive, but for him and 14 others hospitalized today, it's the end of the line.
Nampak jalan, dia tenaga kadang-kadang tak sama kan. Sebab saya minat je ni. Dia bila kita dah
dulu satu peringkat kita jadi ada satu kenangan bagi kita. Macam peringkat ni, macam saya yang gagal, saya tengok member-member yang lulusan, saya jadi saya sedih lah, sebab tak boleh ikut saya.
"120 kilometers into the march and the survivors finally reach a rest stop. No one has voluntarily quit yet, but with 60 kilometers left to go, it's early days.
Because tomorrow will be much harder. It's my last instructor said that for the first 30 or 40 kilo, you will use your strength, okay, your feet, your physical, and the rest you just use your mental to keep going.
Dia orang fikir sekarang ni dia mau nak pakai greenberry. Itu saja dia patut fikir. Sebab itu dia punya matlamat dia datang untuk menghadiri kursus ni. Kalau dia nak fikir dia penat, dia akan gagal.
Tomorrow they are going to have to do it all over again. Face dehydration, hunger, pain, and the worst enemy of all, self-doubt. GGK commandos are sent to places where self-doubt isn't something they can afford. 1993, Somalia's capital Mogadishu is plagued by poverty and civil war. 2 U.S. Black Hawk helicopters were shot down, and Malaysian special forces were called in to help with the rescue operation. Under constant attack from rebels, it took 2 full days to get the trapped soldiers out. 1 GGK commando was killed and several wounded. Real missions can rage for days on end without clear outcomes. But commandos must have complete confidence in their abilities to grapple with the unknown. 5 a.m., day 3, and the recruits have begun the final day of their 160-kilometer forced march. It will take all their willpower to push to the end.
Kemampuan fizikal tu tak penting kan, yang penting kemampuan mental. Halangan pada diri sendiri tu merupakan musuh kita tu diri sendiri.
With 10 kilometers to go, some have dug deep inside to find the energy to make a run to the finish line.
Dulu saya nak nombor 1 lah. Itu yang saya sebab saya seorang saya budak India. Saya buat latihan lah. Bukan untuk latihan saja. Bukan untuk training saja. Mau perang.
160 kilometers in 3 days. Recruit 143 has completed his personal mission. He is the first to cross the green clearing that marks the end of the forced march. The second group, hot on his heels.
Sangat teruja kan, sebab macam luar jangkaan. Macam tak percaya pada kemampuan kita kan. Bila kita melaluinya, kita akan dapat bayangkan macam mana yang orang katakan kan, sangat dahsyat komando ni kan, amat diguruni, ditakuti kan.
"118 recruits have made it to stage 3, and it's about to get tougher. Their next mission, get dropped deep into the harshest place imaginable and survive for 2 weeks without food or water. When commandos need to hide, they go where their enemies will not follow them. The GGK have mastered the art of jungle warfare after successfully beating a communist insurgency in the 1960s. Rebel strongholds were deep inside Malaysia's jungles. The GGK not only had to find and fight them, but learn to survive in this most hostile of environments. Commandos would often be sent into the jungle with 1 month's supply of food for operations that could last 3 months. Exhaustion, tropical disease, and wild animals claimed the lives of some men, but the experience gained made them ultimate jungle fighters. The GGK chose the most extreme environment to train their commandos in survival. Malaysia's remote swamplands are as uninhabitable as it gets. They have nothing but a machete and 3 simple tasks: to find food and water and to build a shelter. But in this environment, nothing is easy. They face extreme heat, heavy rainfall, mud, snakes, and crocodiles. And just to make things worse, mosquitoes and sandflies are everywhere. An early survival tip from the instructors makes the start slightly more bearable.
Ni kadang macam kita ada ni orang cakap agas, nyamuk. Jadi kita kalau berlumpur, kita tak boleh nak tu lah.
This exercise simulates escaping from capture and surviving a period of evading enemy patrols.
Cepat. Kita pilih tempat yang begini, tempat payah begini sebab tujuan pertama dia musuh susah nak kesan, dia susah nak bergerak masuk. Ini kita kawasan payah ni kita buat untuk dia nak menyesuaikan diri dengan keadaan tempat ni lah.
The mud sucks away whatever energy these recruits have left.
I've never been in this state before. I miss my sister's cooking. Yeah, we still got months to go.
Recruits are allowed to eat anything they can catch, but they must share it.
Kami kejar dengan kawan-kawan. Rasa seronok sangat dapat biawak ni.
Mesti tak makan. Binatang ini walaupun saya keadaan darurat, saya mesti dapat boleh makan lah. Untuk nambahkan tenaga.
You cannot choose favorites here. You just eat things. Yeah, survive.
Okay, dia pakai tungkok tu menandakan dia telah berjaya menangkap, jadi dia akan jadi bangga. Jadi benda ni dia akan menjadi menarik minat kumpulan-kumpulan yang lain, akan berusaha lebih lagi untuk nak survivalkan diri dia, untuk nak hidup.
The water in the swamp is brackish and unbearable to drink. So Malaysia's torrential rainstorms are both a source of suffering and salvation.
Dengan keadaan yang sejuk, bila menjelang malam dia akan bertambah lagi sejuk. Jadi ini pertama kali masak kera. Jadi kera punya kepala disambungkan. Jadi apa yang boleh buat sini, kera ni dibelah, dibersihin perut. Lepas tu disalai. Itu je yang boleh buat. Rendam air masin, salai. Supaya dia ada rasa masin-masin sikit. Salai sampai kering. Saya kerja awam dulu, berat saya sebanyak 79. Dan sekarang ni saya rasa mungkin berat saya menjadi 69.
In their weak states, it's hard for the recruits to catch enough food. So as a backup, they are given survival tip number 2.
Siput belitung ni dia boleh mendatangkan tenaga segera. Kalau dia makan dalam seekor, 2 ekor, dia boleh pulihkan balik tenaga dia, tapi dalam jangka masa pendek. Dia boleh bertahan hanya untuk sekerat hari lah. Dalam 5-6 jam, macam tu.
But they're only allowed to eat 3 snails a day, forcing them into the worst possible state. Those who break this rule will face the consequences. Candidates are in the last month of a 13-week selection course to join Malaysia's elite GGK commandos. They are in their 3rd phase of training and have been dropped deep into swampland to learn how to survive. Snails are the easiest food to catch here, giving them the energy boost they desperately need. Learning to cope with situations this bad will help save their lives in real conflict.
Jadi ini adalah siput yang diorang cari untuk makanan diorang dalam keadaan lapar. Dia ketuk menggunakan parang bagi pecah dengan cengkerang dia ni. Lepas tu dia akan koyak, dia akan tarik dia punya ni. Sebab kita mesti kena potongkan bahagian ekor dia ni. Sebab baru dia boleh, sebab dia ada musin ni, isi dah. Dia melengkar-lengkar dalam ni, dia ikut ni.
The isolation is a good time for thought.
Sebab dalam latihan komando ni, keluarga memang tak bagi takut
risiko. Tapi saya datang sini secara sembunyi lah, tak bagi tahu dia bahawa saya nak masuk komando. Setelah saya sampai kat Melaka selama 2 minggu, baru saya kontak bagi tahu dia yang saya dah ada kat Melaka. So dia tak boleh buat apa sebab saya duduk kat Melaka lah. Dia tak dapat nak halang lah, tak dapat nak suruh saya balik. Sebab utama saya masuk komando memang saya minat komando.
At 2 a.m., a group has been caught eating extra snails. Not sharing this bounty is against the rules.
Jadi tak ada makna lah kita buat latihan survival untuk diri dia.
Recruit 2 was the leader of the pack. His whole team will be punished. They will wash the mud from their bodies and be tied to a wooden platform exposed to the elements.
Dia akan merasa kesusahan, dia puasa perit, digigit oleh nyamuk, agas, dia tak boleh nak bergerak, dia tak boleh nak tampak tak boleh, jadi dia akan insaf lah.
It looks sadistic, but the message will stick with them forever.
Sebab komando ni dia akan bekerja dalam kumpulan yang kecil. Mungkin 5 orang, mungkin 10 orang. Jadi dia tak ramai macam ni. Jadi bila dia tak boleh nak bekerjasama dengan kumpulan dia, jadi gagal lah. Dia seorang boleh bekerja, bermakna dia tak boleh juga nak melaksanakan tugas tanpa kawan-kawan dia.
This swamp will claim the weak, and it will take everything they have to continue. The chances of making the grade have just taken a very bad turn. The group was tied up the entire night. They've survived it, but the next day brings new challenges. Normally, these men need 2,500 calories a day. Here, many are living on less than 3. Some have lost up to 9% of their body weight. They are weak and tired, but the elements show no mercy. The threat of flooding has forced them to move their shelters to higher ground. Recruit 2 needs to push his team into building a treehouse that can withstand the harshest conditions. But his own energy levels are at their lowest point in the selection course.
So water level can be up to here. So we need to build above the water level. So at the center of we put Y to support at the center. After we finish this base, we'll be starting to build the roof as camouflage.
In a real situation, it's not just about survival. These men need to be alert and avoid capture. Discipline needs to continue even here. Those who don't keep to these rules are punished.
Kesalahan mereka kerana tidak menjalankan tugas dengan betul. Kita mahu 1 kilo dia punya makanan, tapi dia buat balik dalam 5 ekor ataupun 6 ekor. Mana kesalahan dia tu besar. Pasalah dia dimasukkan ke dalam penjara.
The recruits have no idea how long this torture will continue.
Komando aja dia dapat tak macam ni. Kalau kakak yang lain tak dapat macam ni. Kira lain dari yang lain lah. Komando.
Ini kira untuk dia merasa macam mana sekiranya berlaku perkara macam ni, inilah dia akan rasa. Kiranya dalam peperangan sebenar, dia orang mungkin bukan macam ni lah. Mungkin dia orang akan lebih teruk lagi lah.
The recruits are released just before the high tide reaches its peak. The swamp phase is finally over. Recruits are headed back to base camp in Malacca, where they will face the moment of truth. Who made it to the final stage of the course and who didn't?
Jadi, kepada anggota yang telah dipanggil nanti keluar ke bahagian hadapan, di hadapan ini termasuk
02.
On!
Untuk 05.
On!
After a month of pushing their minds and bodies to the limit, it's game over for 15 recruits. Recruit 2 was caught disobeying orders and cheating. Instructors were forced to throw him out of the course.
Komando saya sawut. Kalau tak tertangkap tak salah. Kalau tangkap pun salah. This mean you're not guilty if you not get caught. So I've been caught. That's mean I'm guilty. I'll be back. I'll be back.
For the 103 men that remain, the course now becomes more tactical. Real soldiering skills that will turn them into commandos ready for the real world. GGK soldiers are world-renowned for their jungle warfare skills, a legacy from their beginnings in the 1960s. But modern warfare has changed. Today's GGK commandos have to respond to new global threats that bring them into an urban environment.
Before that, more toward the counterinsurgency. Now it's more toward the urban operation, or you can call it conventional warfare.
The rise of terrorism post 9/11 has required a change in tactics.
Secara tidak sedarnya, seorang anggota gerahas ni kita hantar kursus tu, dia sudah ada guerrilla warfare tu punya konsep tu ada pada diri dah. Cuma dia perlu suitkan sama keadaan-keadaan dia. Kalau kita cakap tentang guerrilla warfare ni dia mana-mana boleh pergi.
The recruits that make it through the selection course will go on to specialize in airborne, land, or amphibious operations. They'll train in the new facilities built to equip Malaysia's commandos for the 21st century, including the Killing House.
Killing House ni lebih kepada menyelamat tebusan, mencolek, membebaskan tawanan ataupun membebaskan orang kenamaan. Macam dia nak masuk bilik, macam mana apabila dia jumpa selekor, dia nak mengambil selekor, macam mana dia tidak mau bertembak dengan kawan dia, macam mana kita ada control center, communication punya control.
Hostage rescue requires another specialization, snipers stationed in the outside perimeter.
So dikawal, sniper dikawal dan diambil untuk maklumat-maklumat terbaru dan terkini di dalam kawasan dia punya aktiviti-aktiviti musuh. So semasa tim pengempur masuk di kawasan stronghold, sniper untuk memberi perlindungan kepada tim pengempur dan membunuh dia punya teroris yang berada di kawasan koridor ataupun di kawasan sentri musuh.
A team is made up of 4 commandos. One to guide the hostage, and the others to cover them as they make their escape. Back at the selection course, the number of recruits vying for a spot on Malaysia's elite commando force has dropped from 180 to 103. Those who remain have reached the final test, known by the commandos as escape and evasion. It's a culmination of everything they have learned in the course. Their mission, to destroy a heavily guarded communication tower and escape from the enemy back to friendly camp 180 kilometers away. The enemy are experienced GGK commandos. If they catch the recruits, they will be ruthless.
Di sini kita nak uji dia. Dia faham ataupun tidak apa yang Jotih bagi kepada dia daripada mula hinggalah pernah.
Beri perlindungan.
They will trek 10 kilometers through the jungle to reach their target. At 5 a.m., they must enter the area undetected, rig the tower with C4 explosives, destroy it, and escape through the jungle unnoticed. But the enemy are waiting in position. Recruit 14 has been chosen to lead the ambush. This is his moment to shine, as the fate of his entire team rests in his hands.
Jadi di sini Troop Commander main peranan penting sebab kita menentukan menggunakan live.
5,600. Rasa berbangga dipilih dan rasa orang atasan percaya pada saya nak jadi ketua untuk sebuah ni. Bapak saya betul-betul bangga dengan saya sebab dia seorang tentera. Sekarang ni yang pressure. Kuku kambing.
Final preparations before the assault. Every man needs to know his role and the action to take when they hit the enemy. Once they set the explosives, they'll use a code word, goat snails, the signal for recruits to clear the target area and make a beeline to safety. But to get there, they have a long way to go. "3 a.m. and the recruits have been trekking 6 hours to their target.
Saya bimbang saya punya pergerakan ni ketemu musuh. Bila ketemu musuh, mana kan saya gagal. Kalau saya tak dapat beri hijau ni, maknanya hidup saya gagal. Jadi saya jadi askar biasa. Tak jadi seorang daripada pasukan elit. Pasukan elit Angkatan Tentera Malaysia. Saya payah nak jangan tangkap musuh itu.
Recruit 14 also has to make sure his troops stay awake. They've been on the move for hours and they're running on empty.
Maksudnya tenaga untuk serangan malam ni semua bergantung pada tenaga yang masih ada. Baki-baki tenaga, tapi dalam keadaan terdesak ni komando dia akan mengeluarkan tenaga luar jangkaan orang kata.
Jadi serbuan 7 orang.
Under pressure, a commando needs to be able to dig deep to stay on full alert. At 4:45 a.m., the assault team reaches their target. They prepare the attack and the explosives.
Di sini dia akan perhatikan gerak bergeri musuh. Okey, apa musuh akan buat? Itu dia perhati betul-betul adalah
ambil kedudukan.
– 5 a.m. strike time. They begin to approach their target.
Cuma di situ kita ada dengar sedikit bunyi lah, bunyi ranting dipatahkan. Okey, ranting dipatahkan. Hanya sedikit saja bising.
The rigging team moves in. While one team covers them, they set up the explosives. A smoke grenade heightens the confusion. Flares are a signal for help by the enemy. The recruits make their exit.
Secara keseluruhannya, saya bagi 80 ke 85% sukses.
But it's not over yet. In groups of 10, they race back into the jungle to escape from the enemy. The enemy are real GGK commandos. They will hunt down as many of the recruits as they can.
Bagaimana yang siri-siri sebelum ni kan, memberitahu gambaran musuh memang dahsyat. Kalau ditangkap musuh memang dahsyat.
Moments later, a group of recruits have been caught. They are about to be interrogated to find out who their officer is.
Apa? 109. Belum tahu lagi tak? Apa-apa dah berpek kau. Terima tak?
It's 45 minutes of excruciating pain. A brutal reminder of what they could face in the real world.
Sebagai mana yang ada dalam sumpah prajurit komando dan juga sumpah Angkatan Tentera Darat kan. menyimpan rahsia negara dengan seketat-ketatnya.
Their heads are shaved as a mark of capture. They are then released to continue their escape. But as soon as they enter the jungle, they will be chased again. It may be the toughest test yet, but it will also be their most important lesson. In July 2000, Islamic militant group Al-Mauna entered 2 Malaysian army bases and stole weapons and ammunition. 4 hostages were taken along the way. GGK commandos were deployed as part of a reconnaissance and rescue mission. During a sudden crossfire, a commando was caught by the terrorists. He was interrogated and tortured, but he refused to reveal information that might have put the rescue effort in jeopardy. His bravery saved the lives of the hostages, but cost him his own. Recruits have been on a 3-month journey through hell. Of the 180 that started, 103 have reached the end of the commando selection course, including recruits 14, 143, and 51. For those left standing, it is the proudest moment of their lives.
Perasaan saya sekarang ni, saya mampu mengalirkan air mata, terlalu gembira, terlalu sedih dan terlalu seronok dan paling terharu sekali di hadapan mak ayah saya mampu menyarung beret seorang komando.
Now begins their real journey as GGK commandos. They have become part of an elite team that will continue to make a mark in their country's history.